today we're going to be casting epoxy resin in a brand new mold, a fall vibe mold. And we're also going to be testing out our new curing machine. I've never had a curing machine. I didn't even know a curing machine existed. But we're going to try it out and I'm going to let you know how I like it. So today, for the first time, I'm going to be trying out Resiners' new curing machine, the G3. I've never had one of these before, but holy cow, what an idea. I wish they had these years ago when I started playing with epoxy resin, but I'm glad they have something now. The thing I love about it before even using it is that it's got a domed lid to cover your resin so stuff's not getting in it. It also is temperature controlled to whatever spec you want, and it will maintain that temperature even here in humid Florida. So that's pretty amazing. It comes with this awesome silicone mat, and you can flip the base. So if you're doing a deep pour like we will be today, you've got more room inside to cure, or you can flip it and do a shallow pour or UV resin projects, because this does have a UV light in it as well. So it's pretty user friendly. You just pick flat, tall, or UV. Flat just means you're working on the more shallow section. Tall means you have a taller mold. And UV is UV light, of course. And I got this brand new mold. It's an Acorn. So you've got the base of the Acorn, which is your little pot or vessel, and then you've got the top of the Acorn. I thought it would be fun to do something kind of fall themed this time of year. You've got just over 5 inches around the outer edge of the base when you're working in the tall mode. So you can see that this mold fits with room to clear. I also have these little itty bitty baby acorn molds with these cool gold and silver tops. So I thought I would pour a couple of those while we're at it and maybe add in some dried flowers and stuff. I'm going to brush my mold with mica powders. So I've got some nice soft bristled paint brushes. You can use a makeup brush or anything just to get in there. I'm going to flip the base of my mold inside out so that I can be sure to cover the whole thing really evenly. And today I'm going to be using mostly my May Spring pigments. I love these. I used to use these to make geodes with. These colors are just beautiful. So I just take my brush and I'm going to start painting that on. Because it's silicone, your mica powders adhere to it really nicely. You don't need to do anything extra. I think I'll take some of my copper mica pigment and add a little bit of that in there. I'm just kind of blending the colors together. I shake off the extra dust. And let's give it a little bit of green. If this is moving way too fast for you, just drop me any of your questions in the comments below, and I'm really trying to be good about getting back to you and answering your questions. Also, the supplies used, I always put them in the description of the video with links when I have them, and today you're going to have a discount code off of the curing machine if you're interested in that. So we're going to flip that back inside out, or right side in. Right side in, yes, right side in. And we're going to do the acorn cap. It's looking really gorgeous. I mean, who knows what it's going to look like afterwards, but right now I love the colors. Now that that's done, we are going to get out our epoxy resin. This is a 2-to-1 epoxy resin. It is for deep pours. You can go about 4 inches deep with this resin, which is why I got it. Always be sure you're working with the right kind of resin for your project. Not all resins are made to pour deep. And of course, use your protective gear. I've got my gloves, my mask. I've got my Resiners air purifier, which I love going, and work with proper ventilation. You just want to mix that really thoroughly until it all looks the same and all of those little stringy bits are gone. Oh, and also I always keep alcohol wipes on hand when I'm working with resin. to wipe my gloves, my tools, my surfaces. It's a sticky mess, I gotta tell ya. I'm gonna reserve a little bit of clear for my little mini acorns that I'm gonna make, and the rest I'm gonna add some dark charcoal mica pigment to it, because from what I've heard, if you pour dark behind the mica pigments, it helps them pop more. So that's what we're doing. And I think I'll add a little purple too, just to give it a little more depth. And now we're gonna place our pieces that are ready to go right inside our curing station. That's one thing I love about this. It's a working area. So you put it in, you pour it, you don't have to move it around to a different area in the room to cure. You just set it and forget it. Well, maybe you forget it. Maybe you check on it because you're paranoid like I am. But we'll get to that in a minute. And you're working on a silicone mat, so if you spill, it'll come right off in the end. And I did not degas, get rid of the bubbles in this because I figured you wouldn't see it anyway, so I'm just gonna do a quick torch on the bottom to pop those bubbles. However, we are going to put our clear resin that's gonna be in our little pendant acorns in our Resiners degassing, debubbling machine. You guys, I love this thing. I'm telling you, I wish they had these tools when I first started. It would have made a world of difference. I think I'll cut up some of these little metallic leaves to put in one, and maybe a few dried flowers in the other one. This is just kind of a side project since I'm pouring epoxy anyway, and we're doing the acorn theme. And now that my bubbles are degassed, I'm going to transfer this to a smaller pouring cup and fill my little mini acorns. I love miniature things. Now all we need to do is put the lid on our machine and pick our settings and wait. Now normally this resin takes 48 hours to cure. Now I've seen people use this machine online and they do it at the highest temperature for 2 hours, which this goes all the way up to 149 degrees. But I'm scared, I'm a scaredy cat, and I'm afraid I'll flash cure since I'm doing a deep pour and it's a casting resin. So I'm not going to do that because I'm a chicken. Yes, I am. And my resin says to work at about 75 to 78 degrees, so I'm a little nervous to go that high. Because if you've had a flash cure with resin, you'll never forget it. I think I'll start with 98 degrees for 3 hours just to test it out. And you can see that I got my air purifier going as this is curing, and it's showing me what the VOCs are in the air as it's curing, and this is why it's important to have your protective gear. So I ended up putting this on about 3 more hours, and it definitely cured much quicker than the resin that I left out. 6 hours versus 48 hours, that's pretty darn good. Let's start by demolding our little mini acorn pieces. The red and green one is really cute. It looks more like Christmas. The other ones didn't quite turn out like I had planned. I need to add more flowers next time. Let's demold our big acorn vessel next. You can see that it's still a little bit soft and it'll finish curing over the next 24 hours. I really like the copper colors in it. It turned out really pretty. Now for our acorn top. Okay, this didn't turn out great. You can see that I didn't take my time and make sure that it was filled. I've got some empty pockets there, and I wish it was a different color. I think what I'll do is take one of my UV transfer stickers and put it on the pot. I love these whimsical fairies and they just say fall. Oh, she's a little sad fairy. Let's put her on there. She needs a home. And just like that, it peeled right off. Oh, she's really cute. But I've got to say, I'm not loving the top. I kind of think maybe I ought to paint it, or I might just not use the top and use just the bottom portion. It's a learning experience. I could have definitely done a better job. I will do better next time. And for our little minis, I'm just going to glue the tops on with some E6000. And we've made these adorable little pendants. I think I'm going to just give these away because they were an experiment. They didn't turn out perfect. So if you're in the United States and you want to enter for a chance to win a little acorn pendant, make sure you comment below and include the hashtag acorn silver if you like the silver one, or acorn gold if you like the gold one. The gold one didn't quite turn out. The leaves kind of bled into it, but it left these really cool little misty streaks. This might look more like vampire-y, Halloween-y, this one. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below, and feel free to hashtag the acorns if you're interested in one of my experiments, and I will give it away. I'll pick a name, but you got to be in the US because just the logistics and cost, I can't afford to do that. I'm a crafter. I don't make that much money. So if you're interested, comment below and let me know which one's your favorite, what you liked, what you didn't like. And at the very least, I hope that I've inspired you to get crafty and creative, because it really is a healing process, a healing journey, and it's really good for the soul. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.